Okay, how you doing? This is the first installment of Advice by Solo, completely unscripted, so if I stumble around, I apologize. I want to start out by saying that I am not a doctor, I am not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, I'm not professionally trained. This advice is based on personal experience and, personal opinion. Today's topic we're going to do is something I heard on my radio station the other day while I was driving to school. And it just amazed me how stupid some of my fellow males are. Come on. The topic at hand was, if the girl that you're dating or engaged to says, oh no, you don't have to get a gift for me this year or whatever, for anniversary, for a birthday, for whatever, should you still get it for her? Hello. Like I said, guys, come on. That's basic 101 dating, alright? Obviously, you noticed I did not mention wives. Wives are a totally different creature. With regards to a wife, minor little things are important. You can substitute buying that $200 diamond bracelet for making her dinner, especially since she's going to know your guys' financial situation just as well, if not better than you. Dating and being engaged, they're different because, well, obviously being engaged is just a glorified girlfriend. Alright, I know out there, ladies, you probably just heard me say glorified, hey, I'm sorry, but you are. If you can walk away without losing half your shit, or just walk, or whatever, it's not the same, okay? You're not the wife, okay? You can leave at any moment until you get to the chapel or wherever you're getting married, until you get to that altar and say, I do. You're a glorified girlfriend. The only difference between you 2 days ago and you right now is a ring. And let's face it, that's not really a big deal, okay? Yes, you might get lucky and get that guy who has the ability to buy you a super huge diamond. Fantastic, but it doesn't mean anything other than, hey, here's my promise that we'll get married. But how many people have you heard of that have been engaged, they were engaged for 2 years or whatever, and then it didn't work, or they were engaged for a couple of weeks and it didn't work? It's no different, you know what I mean? Whereas with a marriage, if it doesn't work, you have to go through a lot of legal crap. So that's why I say you're a glorified girlfriend. I apologize if that offends you. Straight off the bat, before we continue, I'm going to let you know that I'm going to do my best to try to keep this clean. But on occasion, I might throw words out, and if that offends your sensibility, I apologize. All right? It's who I am. It's how I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to talk to you plainly, the way I think that you will understand it. So, back to the topic. Guys, when you're dating, when you're dating or you're engaged, the whole don't worry, it's a gift, it's more like a trap than anything. It's a test it's almost a test of loyalty, just like whether or not you go out with your friends and you don't cheat. You know what I mean? Let's face it. You sacrifice a certain amount of freedom for a guarantee. I don't want to say guarantee. Forgive me for trying to get ready to say the word guarantee. You sacrifice a certain amount of freedom for the possibility of guaranteed booty. All right. I mean, think about it. Here you are. I'm assuming you're sexually active with your girlfriend or your fiance. If you're not, all the power to you. Celibacy. There's nothing wrong with it. That's a whole other topic. But if you are sexually active with your girlfriend or your fiance, what you're trading for that is a stability. And I don't mean like a stable relationship, because a lot of the times relationships, even though you might think are stable, are totally fucked up, right? But what I'm talking about stability is not having to go out every day or every weekend or whatever, to a bar, to a club, to some social place, to try to, meet this girl so that you can hopefully have sex. What you're doing is saying, okay, once in a while we do this, or every couple of weeks we do that, and in return we both get something. We both get sex. Ladies, I know you're thinking, oh my God, that's not true, but you know what? Yes, it is. From a female perspective, you guys look at a relationship way different than the males do. Okay? For you guys, being in a relationship, dating somebody is about the relationship. And for guys, it's not as much about that. I mean, come on. How many times have you dated somebody, whether you're still dating him now or you dated a couple of different people, where you were totally committed to it and you could see his commitment, but it didn't seem to equal yours? It's not that we don't have the same feelings, same emotions. It's just that until we decide we've found the right one, we don't commit to it completely. Our emotions are going to be underneath. We're going to be holding them off. We show you what we need to show you to get what we want. And I know that sounds horrible, but it's true. The only time it changes is when you get married, because by the time you get married, you have already figured out your flaws, your little bitty quirks, and you've either worked through it or you're figuring out how to work through it. Guys, for heaven's sake, it's no different than when a girl asks you, do these pants or does this dress make me look fat? You're obviously going to answer no, it doesn't. And that's because they don't really want to know, just like they do really want the present. It's to test you to see if you're going to put your own personal needs before, after hers. Put her needs before yours. And if you screw up, all the power to you, bro, because it could be days, weeks before you sucked up enough to be able to get anything back from her. Yes, she said it was okay, but when she said it was okay, it wasn't okay. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Been married for 20 years. I've got 3 kids. I know what I'm talking about. And you don't have to believe me. You don't even have to listen to this advice completely. Obviously, by now, if you're still listening, you're interested. Or somebody's already turned it off. That's the freedom and power of being able to turn off that switch, not having to listen. But if you're listening, understand, even when you get out of high school and you think those high school games are over, they're not always over. There's always some kind of game to play. And whether they say, oh, it's a high school kind of thing or it's a relationship kind of thing, it doesn't matter. Believe me, you don't get that gift, you're hosed. Now, like I said, to married people, it becomes a different thing. Obviously, if you and your wife are together, you've been together, whether you've been together a couple years or you've been together as long as my wife and I have, what you have to remember is simple. She understands where the two of you are coming financially. It's hard economic times. You've made a commitment to each other. The commitment was to, be together forever through the hard times and the bad times, but you don't want the hard times to feel hard. You want to try to kind of alleviate it a little bit. So the best bet is to even do something minor, or it may seem a big deal to you because, oh my God, I've got to do this, oh my God, I've got to do that. But believe me, it's not as big of a deal as you make it sound. Cook for her, make her breakfast, make her lunch, make her dinner. Something's coming up, scrounge that money, put it somewhere, hide it. Go without a 6-pack of beer or pack of cigarettes for a day or a week or whatever you spend it on to take her out to dinner. You didn't spend $200, $300, $400 on a piece of jewelry or on a dress or whatever little trinket or curio she might wanted, because she understands that. but at least you showed her by taking her out, by getting her something as simple as a card, that you do care. Especially, like I said, if you've been married as long as I have, it's very, very easy to do it. Okay? Well, that's all the time I have today. I'm going to do my best to try to keep up on your responses. Go ahead and leave me comments, positive, negative, doesn't matter. Ask me questions. I'll do the best to answer them as best I can based on, again, my personal experience and my personal opinion. If you asked me a question and I answered, obviously you were interested in what I've got to say. If you didn't like it, hasta la vista, have a good life. For those of you who come back, until next time.